Because I know it always happens with 3-ofs or 2-ofs where you mulligan one copy and then you just get the second one. I don't even know if that works for a 1-off. I don't think it should because it might be in like a little limbo way of the mulligan. But I don't know how the game coding works in that regard. We will find out, but we're gonna actually find out right now because he is not in hand. However, the mirror match also is not at hand just yet because we are seeing another Akshan Lee come out from Yup.
Yeah, I know I'm supposed to stay unbiased as a commentator, but I want Maykas to lose now so we can have this mirror match that we've been hyping up happen now. Don't take it personally. I'm just invested.
Just want to see the Jarvan diff, but for now he is not showing up. We do get the Lodestone, however. We do have a nice early, nice early curve for Maykas here for sure. And yup, this time around, no Akshan, no Lee, and not a huge amount of tempo. However, this Vakoran Vagabond is gonna at least represent a horde. No, not the horde, the Warlord's Palace. So we can try to get that going until we find the Akshan and then hopefully be able to level him, right as he comes down, or maybe a couple turns after.
Absolutely. Happy to see that horde come down. Vakoran Vagabond, really good at saving some bad situations. If you didn't have that here and you didn't have your Akshan starting to tick down, you're in a pretty bad spot if you're Yup. So very happy to see that come down. And deciding to use the momentous choice, get that first trigger on the landmark, and trade into the Saga Seeker, and putting the Sandworn Amulet back into his hand.
Yeah, Maykas losing out on the Faded unit here. Early game, definitely not going to feel good. We do get another Faded unit, though, in hand, which is the Pantheon. Of course, he will have to wait a bit longer to be able to be played, or, well, able to be played at an effective rate. For now, yeah, for now, I feel like Maykas took a big L on that last turn just because we don't have a unit that can keep scaling, that can keep getting bigger, that keeps becoming a bigger threat until then the Pantheon, comes down, kind of takes over that position. It's always nice to have someone your opponent has to be scared of, has to be aware of, has to, out pressure, hopefully, or is being pressured by it. For now, just the Goat and the Shepherd are trying to represent that, but of course a Faded unit would make that job much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious if Maykas is considering dropping the Pantheon, especially now that the Bastions come down. That's really good at keeping Pantheon safe. That +1/+1 and Spell Shield helping to grow Pantheon and keep him safer. You already have a pretty decent hand to have some good safety on Pantheon, the Gem and Guiding Touch to heal him back up. I don't know, could see that potentially coming into play here. But yup, currently looking to draw through. Finding the Absolver, not something that's great at the moment. You can burn that in a last-ditch situation where you need a blocker, but not what you want to be going for if you can save it for later for your Lee Sin OTKs. Curious to see if he will choose to burn that early to potentially get some extra attackers or blockers, or if he's just going to wait and hold on to it for that OTK.
Yeah, it is a bit of a awkward hand for Yup right now. We have two spells that are really in a awkward position of Noblify that doesn't really get used unless we single combat, or the Absolver where we always want to keep it for when we have the win con, when we have the winning attack, when we have honestly great units to even put stats on. And I guess the Sonic Wave here is the only card that we can potentially use proactively next turn. Doesn't really hurt us, but those other two cards are cards that are very situational. And you want to have, of course, the Absolver you want to have when you have the level champion and you're trying to go for the win. The Noblify is nice, but in this matchup, just a probably not necessary card to have right now. Considering, I might be rambling on here and Mayka's going to go for a huge single combat play that just gets denied. But no, we are playing the Bastion instead. Saving the Shepherd, this may force out a Sonic Wave.
I'm interested by that play. I guess that does at least mean that Maykas is going to hold on to that Pantheon and feel confident to be able to do so. But yeah, the Sonic Wave is going to come out for the trade now. And hey, that one semi-awkward card now getting its value outdone and putting the Shepherd down to the graveyard, but the Lodestone is back in hand, only 2 turns away. And there's the Jarvan, the Faded unit we've been talking about all along, might be coming into play this game.
Yeah, Lee Sin also drawn for Yup, which is a great position for him. These lifesteal Dragon Links also putting in a lot of work on this attack. And with that very, very aggressive Bastion here, not sure if Maykas might have taken a bit of a too big bite for him to swallow, because now with the lack of Bastion, the Lee Sin or, the Pantheon could always be stunned if he doesn't have Spell Shield, or, kicked by a Lee Sin. Even if you were to survive the attack, he will still be put back into the hand. So, I don't know, but the Pantheon is dropping, and he is not leveled just yet.
Yeah, I'm even more questioning that Pantheon and Bastion play now that the Pantheon's coming down. That Bastion would have been really good to keep that Pantheon alive. You're not worried about the Lee Sin just yet, but you could pull an Ionian Tellstones and get that homecoming, and suddenly all the effort that you put into the Pantheon is just gone and wasted, and there's nothing you can really do about it.
And
Gonna go
here's
for
the
the single
Notify.
combat. Ooh. Yeah, Notify
Notify.
can come out here if he commits to the single combat, but Maykas is considering it. No, going to commit to it, and now the Notify can come through and just keep this unit fine and dandy.
All right, don't worry, Yup. I set you up here. I was talking down on the Notify just for it to come in pretty clutch. Would have been pretty huge for Yup to lose one of those eyes that are keeping him currently in the game. Now they're still dandy, and the Akshan is here as well. That is a nice card to find, getting the Horde active, and now putting Maykas on a bit of a clock, honestly.
Yeah, and suddenly that Absolver we were talking about being awkward, also in the same turn, being made into a potentially very powerful tool, as now it can be looking, you can look to try and start leveling your Lee Sin next turn and try and go for that OTK, but as I'm talking about this Pantheon leveling up from the gem, what keywords are we getting today? It looks like fearsome, elusive. I think that's a spell shield hiding under the eyes. No, that is the faded. That is the faded.
Shield, no.
But the spell shield's gonna come out anyway from Eula, adding
Okay.
on to fearsome quick attack. Fury, a very important one to get. You can try and challenger away one of those dragonlings with that quick attack too, and grow the Pantheon even bigger than what you can use with just the faded and what tools faded tends to run. Pretty good high roll here. No lifesteal to be seen, but that does mean that potentially you can still get, another Pantheon later down the line that could have that. But instead, you are also getting some very good aggressive combat keywords.
I don't even think that the lifesteal here is necessary, because we are playing against Akshan Lee, a deck that is mostly able to kill you from, 20, 16, a very high health percentage or point level, so lifesteal not really, it's not gonna save you from being OTK'd. You can lifesteal as much as you want. We're not even attacking with Pantheon here. What was that?
He didn't want his opponent to play Lee Sin. He wanted to burn his mana so they can't use spells such as like Deny or anything.
Very smart observation, and now instead going for the rally this turn, putting the barrier on Pantheon too, making this spell shield Pantheon even safer.
And look who's in
and that
hand.
concerted is backup. And Jarvan gonna come down here too if no other mana is spent. We might see play. I am excited right now.
This could be potentially huge. We can pull a lot of things. Of course, Lee Sin and Jarvan will most likely just, both come out of the battle unharmed because of their respective barriers. But this rally is going to make things hard for Yup, because now the Pantheon can threaten once again. And he is a 10 attack unit who we are just absolving right now. Yup trying to go for it right here, right now. I think leveling Lee, yep, on this Absolver trigger. And now we will see Overwhelm Lee. He is leveled. He can kick. And he can kick a goat. He can kick Eula. 8, 16. Concerted. Concerted can do it, though. Concerted can save us.
This is why
Yeah.
the pass
Oh,
is
it
so
can?
important.
Wow, yeah. So we might not be seeing Jarvan C play just yet. But
No.
maybe next turn. Maybe next turn.
Definitely next turn. I believe in Jarvan coming through. But it is going to be... It is going to be tough, right? Or, I mean, yeah, it's going to be tough for Yup to lose here. The Lee Sin, once again, denying that OTK victory that we were setting up. And now with the Pantheon just unleashed, uncontested, unbothered, even grows bigger from the Fury, this game may be Maykas' to take. Or, it is very likely that it is Maykas' to take. If not this turn, definitely next turn. But the double gems should be enough, right? Yeah, because with the help of Eula, we are able to get the damage. We don't see Jarvan hit the board, but we do see the Jarvan deck take the first win in the series.
And absolutely, I still feel like Jarvan was the real difference maker that game, giving some moral support from the hand, always cheering on his fellow Demacian units. And I just wanted him to come into play, man. I'm a simple man with simple needs.
Okay, we all saw him there. He did great. Now, Woke, you came in with a very hot observation at the end. What else did you observe? Talk to us, Mr. Analyst Desk Man. Give us some spicy stuff that you picked up on.
Well, I don't think the menu is going to be very useful, to be honest. Because we're trying for the Red Gwen Mirror. Specifically, because it's all about the mana conserving when you're playing a tempo deck.
It looks like the Red Gwen Mirror Maiden is not going to come through because Maykas' Red Gwen has been banned here.
Both been banned.
Seems instead
no,
to be
we
the
don't know.
Nami Lee coming out?
Yeah, no, we don't know what Yup still has open because Yup has to run it back now on that auction. But yeah, definitely Maykas' one being banned. Could have been both banned for sure. But I don't know if we'll get to find out or not because Maykas might look to take this here 2-0, and now this heavy metal is just going to put a stop to this Hookmaster.
It's such a good card.
Yeah. Very good card, especially with all the Weapon Masters running around. I've talked about it again and again. The Weapon Masters have really been big units in this meta. Because there's at least one in every single region, you kind of just see them pop up in every single deck. Which leads to equipment removal, such as Heavy Metal, which is just a slow Mystic Shot with an upside, becoming a really good card in the game.
And once again, thank you very much for the shout out for Mystic Shot. Mystic Shot, a card that is currently not very prevalent in the meta. But Heavy Metal is literally just slow Mystic Shot. So yes, if someone, well, you can't lethal with Heavy Metal. But if you make a game-winning play with Heavy Metal, you basically win the game with Mystic Shot, which means you're basically shouting out the Mystic Shot podcast tournament, which means you're basically doing a very good job. Now we have Scout on the Weapon Master and the Akshan coming in. How do we respond? Do we rip another Heavy Metal on something? Or, we just go for Double Trouble.
No, just going for the Double Trouble, but I still think we could see a run back. Oh, going to be an Opified instead anyway. We might just see a run back of the second Heavy Metal anyway, because that Scout can be a problem. Another way to get the Lee Sin lethal. In addition, Akshan attacking twice in a turn in the early game. Very, very nice. Lets you trigger down that landmark twice in a round instead of once off of his strikes.
Yeah, very good analysis that weapon could come in quite annoyingly in the future if we don't remove it now. It is going to start getting his first use, and now is in the hand where it is safe for the time being. But we can, of course, just have Heavy Metal it at a later point if we want to, or save the Heavy Metal for something else. But yeah, as you said, the Scout Lee Sin is also a deadly combo that cannot be underestimated.
Yeah, I think Maykas might be holding on to it. He might be thinking that Akshan might be the receiver of it soon. And if that is the case, then that does mean that the Heavy Metal would be taking out both the Akshan and the Scout in the same swing, which is a very nice hit if you can get it.
Oh, and there it is. There is the... Wait a minute. The defensive... Oh, wait. Oh, no, I get it. Because of the Meditate now, the Akshan would not have been able to take out this coral creature, and now is actually going to be trading. Well, not even trading. Going to be traded down or up by the coral creature. And that unit, that small sea thing, just took down Akshan himself. I mean, if that isn't an achievement for a creature, I don't know what is. But losing Akshan here without even getting the level, is going to hurt Yup once again.
Yeah, absolutely. And Yup does not have a lot of options right now. Will of Ionia and the Wuju style, both nice cards to have, but those are the only cards you have, and you don't even really have good draw at the moment, because the same time you're dropping your Vestian Disciple, Maykas has responded with their own Vestian Disciple, and now they're just kind of staring at each other. Although the first one's going to come down, so we might see even more spell shenanigans coming through.
Yeah, we see the players just play Vuju style, and the exact same, like the exact same outcome is gonna happen. But we do see at least Yup will get the Palace flipped next turn, and now Maykas, yeah, just responds with their own Vuju style. Very, very mirror-ish here. Although, you know, the decks are... Ooh, no, we are even going to go further, saving our own Disciple with the choice. And now that putting Maykas on a potentially more draw. But now Yup has to predict and draw. That could be a huge factor.
Absolutely. And all those spell triggers also going straight to the Lee Sin. We'll see what Yup hits here off of this predict. This can make or break the game. Pretty quick decision, so probably a card he wanted to see, and that is Lee Sin. That is a card you always want to see.
And Maykas drew another coral creature. That is not something that you want or need right now. We needed something like a Nami, something like a Lee Sin ourselves, because, yeah, this Lee Sin almost leveled. Can be scouted up if we choose to do so, and then next turn, once we find that last spell, and level him up, if Maykas doesn't find anything by a, you know, fair amount of time, which is like right now, maybe one more turn. Okay, we get draw. That's good. That's huge. We have draw. We also have more draw with the Vestian Disciple coming out. We could find answers to the Lee Sin. If we don't, Yup may take the game here, and we find a palm. It's already a good start.
Very good to find, yeah. And now Maykas, though he hasn't found it, the Lee Sin is leveled in deck. So if you do find your Lee Sin, you now have yours. Yup did also just pull a deny. Could potentially be a big threat here. Able to stop a counter Dragon's Fury if another Lee Sin comes down. Ooh, there's the heavy metal, waiting for the scout to come back into play. And yeah, nothing you can do about that if you're Yup, except recall your Lee Sin, which is a very bad tempo loss.
Yeah, no, taking the... Ooh, there's the Lee Sin for Maykas, but yeah, taking this, just being like, okay, I guess I lose my scout. Happens. Ooh, and look at this currently unfortunate situation. We don't have a leveled Akshan. The Lee Sin can't really level off the... Well, you know, can level off the Absolver, but then it won't get you the second part of the Absolver. All we can do is recall something to try to get the level right now, but no, we yet again have to stall, have to wait, and Maykas is getting so much time for their own Lee Sin. I wonder if we're just gonna play it here, delete something off the map, or if we're maybe gonna just wide swing. And no, we are sacrificing one of the cold creatures, the tough soldiers in battle, you know, took down Akshan, the legend himself, and now Lee Sin will take over the place. And also has a scout attack, scout weapon on his side of the board here. However, it is currently being held up by that Bookmaster.
And now I think that Will of Ionia, the only spell that can level your Lee Sin if you want to hold on to that Absolver for the OTK, now suddenly has a very good purpose, as you can recall that Lee Sin, save yourself some extra time, save yourself some potential pain, and nothing on the side of Maykas that can really respond to that except for a Homecoming, I guess. Although, no, we've already dipped below that at this point.
Oh, this turn there is no answer, but we did also draw a deny of our own, which could put us in potential deny shenanigans in a couple of turns here, because as you said, at this time right now, the game is not looking to end. Yup still has answers, also no overwhelm on the Lee Sin, so things are fine. But Ionia matchup, Ionia mirror shenanigans are bound to happen here soon with both players having deny up.
Yeah, and unfortunately we were wrong. That was not the last spell needed to level Lee Sin. That was still 2 spells away. So now you need to find another spell on the top deck here, and Vestian Disciple is not it. Can become a spell, but not fast enough for you.
No, it really can't, because we can even just deny it on Maykas' side with our own Disciple here yet again. Coming from the Shaman Wind.
And now we're back in a very similar situation.
Yeah, and Maykas, ooh, we're going for it. Now, was I wrong? Was I right? Do we get the second part of the Absolver by leveling the least? Oh, no, you do get, okay, you do get the second part of leveling. Okay. I thought it was the other way around. But Yup couldn't have gone for it earlier because, as we said, it was 2 spells away instead of 1. And now the Lee Sin is coming through. Homecoming might have to be the answer here. Technically, we could also press OK. And that's what we're doing, okay?
Press OK. All right. And now, Yup swung this game back in his favor. That Shimon Wind letting you draw that. You've got your Eyes of the Dragons both triggered. Lee Sin coming back down on the side of it, so we'll see if Maykas is able to threaten a similar OTK, but doesn't look like the tools are quite in hand right now to go for that situation.
We don't find Overwhelm.
Maybe he just wants to make his opponent waste resources here. Because that's the only damage they're able to do outside of the Shimon Wind.
Hmm.
And
Also
they have like +6 HP right now. Because of the Tailstones. If anything were to happen.
True. But we do have to... Yeah, it's definitely... I mean, pressing OK there, definitely a very, very respectable choice, a very wise choice, because, ooh, now we find Shelly. Because as Woke said, we don't really have any burn, obviously. And the Lee Sin is the most, danger that we have to face, and we have answers to him, right? We can stun him, we have Deny as backup. We have a lot of things to do against the Lee Sin. So going down to 3 here is kind of still being up at 20, because it's an OTK deck we're facing, and an OTK that we have to be worried about. Now, Fleet Admiral Shelly is gonna try to wrap up something, because we did manage to put the Scout on the Lee Sin, and the Tailstones are... I don't know about those Tailstones. I mean, we can find the Nasus spell, right? The 7-mana one to nerf the Lee Sin a bit. But is that going to be enough this turn?
I'm not sure, honestly. I'm also curious about that Shelly to see what plays are going to come down to get those buffs going out. I guess you can maybe go for those health potions, try and heal up some units for cheap. But then you're losing out on homecomings, and do you want to use your ghost as well? That could potentially be something. So I don't know where exactly it's going to go with. Looks like it is going to be the health potion for the cheap trigger.
Yep. Health pot is the way here. Denying or not going for homecoming here in the future. Telegraphing that, we do have the Palm. And now, what does Yup do? Do we go for the first deny here? That or play? Do we try to go for the Nasus spell? I think those are our 2 options that we currently have, because losing the Lee Sin is not accepted. And yeah, it seems like we are going for that. Oh, we're going for... That's not the Nasus spell I meant. I was talking about the 7-mana one. I did forget its name, but we went for that.
Ritual Judgment.
Yes.
I guess we're trying to get rid of Shelly first here, it looks like. Definitely not a bad choice. Definitely a unit that can turn the game around by itself. And is it going to go for the Fleet Admiral Shelly? Yes, it is. Not too many other targets I think you're threatened by on that board.
Does Maykas play a deny here? Which then will just get denied by Yup. Maybe putting Yup in a position to win the game next turn. Or does Maykas just say, okay?
Doesn't Maykas just win here? Because of Ghost?
Good point.
Oh. No, because of Shimon Wind.
Oh, right, there's also Shimon Wind. That's true.
Plus, I think Maykas is maybe trying to save mana for the deny right now. Seems to be making a decision about whether or not to try and go for a trigger. Nope, just gonna let Shelly die and hold on to that deny mana instead, because I think he might be expecting Yup to have his deny here. No, passing instead.
Not even going for the second Lee Sin attack this turn. Trying to keep up everything, trying to play this as, well, safe as possible. But now, we have Akshan, we have Lee Sin coming back down. Then there's the first stun. Yeah, and Yup did not manage to draw first. Yup did decide to play Lee Sin first. Potentially denying themselves a second deny that could have been found. And now the denying of the denies is happening. Which means this Lee Sin will not do anything this turn, because we don't have mana for Shimon Wind into deny anyways. So yeah, the Lee Sin has been put on ice. Has been stunned. Now we're trying to look for something. If we find a deny right now, Yup is definitely going to remember that.
Yeah, and going for the draw now, remembering to do so. Probably not going to be playing the Akshan this turn. Can't even, I mean, get the landmark down. You don't
We
have the space
found
for it.
it!
And there's the other
No!
deny. Oh,
That's tragic.
No, if Yup would have just
Should've
played
just
it before
gone for
playing
it
the Lee Sin.
first.
Oh, you all remember, kids, always draw first. Always draw first. This could be the out of the tournament for Yup. Just that small little mistake of not going for a draw. I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure the landmark was popped on turn start, so the Lee Sin...
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
would have absolutely changed the game here. Lee Sin getting the attack absolutely would have been game ending, probably, for Yup.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Only thing Maykas had left was 5 mana for a, for a draw spell, but nothing after that to back it up. Pot of Pain, Combat Reel, not an overwhelm weapon we were looking for, but with the help of the scout, we may be able to finish the job next turn. We also find another Lee Sin. So I feel like this may be game, but I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe, no, wait, but the second deny now, we can at least deny one of those Lee Sin kicks from coming through to save ourselves some HP. And, the Burblefish not being the most, Burblefish no Shelly. Burblefish kind of raw, can get Shimon winded. And the Ghost can also get Shimon winded. So I don't know what's going to happen here just yet, but I know that Yup had the game on the fingers and, unfortunately fumbled it. But maybe he can pick it, maybe he can pick it back up. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like the Telstones are going to be coming through for a homecoming here. Try and pull that Lee Sin away. Oop. Maybe not. Reconsidering for a second. And committing now, it looks like. Nope.
I'm trying to figure out what
There we go.
Going for a double Lee Sin recall here instead of choosing to recall something cheaper. Like a Eye of the Dragon. A deny. Okay, Maykas not trying to dig through the deck here and trying to find another deny or something. But we can't just replay Lee Sin.
I think Yup was looking to make room for Akshan now that he can level, and then he can start getting his palace to tick down. Or sorry, at this point it would be a horde. And that can lead to a more secured game win on Yup's end, if that is indeed what's happening here.
Ooh, we find the momentous choice, no deny yet. So Yup currently in deny advantage, could try to play that this turn as well. The Lee Sin now looking a bit awkward, a bit unprotected. We have to play either a Ghost to get the barrier, or we play that. You were just right, we play the Akshan here on the other side. But we can play Ghost, or we could play a Sonic Wave to try to challenge the Akshan, maybe challenge the Eye of the Dragons on the side. But it seems like we're just letting this Lee Sin, chill. Because I guess when he's leveled, he doesn't really need barrier anymore, because he's gonna kick the opponent away anyways.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did he say, Work?
Oh no, I was wondering how much Ghost did. If we also added in the momentous choice.
Well, if we go for Ghost,
Wait,
oh yeah,
that
Ghost
equal?
momentous choice, true.
Yeah.
Could have dealt another. Well, the Burblefish would have gotten through because. Oh no, actually we didn't have room to even summon the Shaman Wind there. Oh wait, that was one of those. That was one of those.
That would have been lethal.
No.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
Yeah, both players kind of missing lethal here both times. Once a bit of more a unpredicted one for Yup. But yeah, Maykas definitely had lethal in the hands right now in that scenario. And now is yet again stalling. Has 1 Tellstones left, but Yup with the deny ready in hand. This could be the game deciding play here.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably why no momentous choices or buffs of any kind got played last round. Yup instead trying to save them for this round. Because you could have saved that Akshan and tried to go for the Horde countdown instead, but it looks like it was a better choice in the end because that does let you, use it now and buff up your Lee Sin so that you can get the lethal through here. And yep, there's the resonating strike. And now Maykas gonna have to respond with something.
Yeah, and Maykas just top deck another deny that I completely missed. Once again, we are in a double deny situation, both players having mana up for it. We are starting off with the deny, and then, you know, Yup is going to deny that deny. And, oh, don't get cocky here. We still have to keep that Hoko mana up if anything goes wrong. Going for the deny into saving Lee Sin. Does that leave us? Yeah, that should definitely leave us 5 mana up for Tellstone Homecoming. So Maykas once again alive. Yup, once again not a game winner. And the game going to continue on. We were asking for longer games here, and our question was answered because this one is taking quite a while. Both Lee Sins have been just kicking each other back and forth for a minute.
I feel like, please, they're actually delaying the match so much.
How many attacks have these Lee Sins done on each other at this point? I think this is like 4th or 5th at this point.
Yeah, something like that. It's been definitely a more than you're used to seeing Lee Sin kick. Maybe his legs once will, you know, tire out, because usually, well, in Legends of Runeterra, he's just used to maybe kicking once or twice and then the game is over. But no, this time those legs were put to good use. The scout putting back on Maykas' Lee Sin here. Nami being found.
There we go. That's a difference maker to be made. Also, the Horde, also only 3 clicks away, can definitely do some targeting and get that flipped this turn. Not sure what you go for at this point. Do you go for the spell shields to try and be a direct counter to the kicks? Or do you go for the draw and maybe try and look for another action or some other answer that you could find in your deck?
Well, the problem with the spell shield is that
Wait,
only...
Did the Nami patch already go through?
No.
Her card text just read +2/+0. I think it already went through.
Really?
Wait. We gotta
Yeah,
check.
it went through
Wait,
already.
It does.
Nami is not going to be buffing any health here.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Oh! That just happened. Yeah, no, the buff went through. Or the nerf, I should say.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's crazy. I mean, it doesn't
Alright.
really matter right now, but... Oh, that's wild. I didn't even know that was a thing. But yeah, it looks like the Nami is nerfed, so any upcoming games in the tournaments will have to have a different lookout on it. And the game is this game over is my question now. Lee Sin is on 7. We have nothing to deny for Yup. This is GG's with the nerfed Nami. Maykas still manages to take a dub, even just with that elusive tentacle from the ghost here. GG's will be called. Maykas does it 2-0's the opponent, and Yup still once again had that win on the fingers. Always draw first. Remember that. If we